Welcome to another riveting edition of Risk and Return. I'm Charlie Gasparino from Fox News, Fox Business, columnist for the New York Post, with my very, very dapper co-host here, Bob Sloan, the founder, CEO of S3 Partners, the number one data provider, independent data provider, out on the Bloomberg Network, who's fresh off his CNBC appearance.
Yes,
Talking
sir.
about what?
What else is there to talk about today? We talked about SpaceX. We talked about
I know what you're
software
talking
stocks.
about. I just want you to tell everybody what you talked about.
So we talked about crowded trades, positioning. You know, that's really what our firm does, is tell you how the market is positioned every single day, long and short, so you can understand when money flows in, how it flows in, and where it's flowing to, and that has an impact on market direction. And so that's what I was on CNBC talking about. We're getting closer to those guys. It's fun. We're doing a lot more with them, and they've been great to us. So, good show. I did stutter a little bit, like
me. I do it all the time.
I mean,
Bob, I stutter.
Everybody stutters. I stuttered a little bit. I couldn't remember this one stupid. I was on air. I said, because I use these mnemonics when I'm on air to try to memorize, complicated things.
Right.
Start boiling down. And I couldn't remember the stock's name, Viasat and Planet Systems, that were benefiting from the SpaceX, launch business. And I just had a mental block on it. And I was like, on air. Remember the scene of Joe Pesci in Goodfellas when he was like,
I've done that a million times. So it's part of the game.
It's part of the game. Well, they'll have me back.
Who'd you do it with? What
Kelly Evans,
Kelly and
Mark Kelly,
good people.
Surat Sethi, great people, good questions, and live TV is its own animal. As we do this show live.
This is a live show. I do live TV almost every other day. I did an hour yesterday on Fox Business. It's one of the interesting things about TV is, like, all these people do a lot of TV and do a lot of podcasting, and then they wonder why their words come back to haunt them. Yeah. Now, if you notice, we're very careful in our
repartee.
Yes, for that reason. I try. I'm more careful now than I used to be, but it pays to watch what you're saying, and because it's thousands and thousands of hours that. If you ever get in the limelight, they go back and
they'll watch. Someone will be watching,
and me saying something stupid.
10 years from now, when someone goes back in the vault and they say, "Look at Risk and Return," they say, "Wow, what do you think they'll think of our show 10 years from now?"
I mean, what I think they will think is that we saved them money, or made them money,
both.
And I think they're going to say that we gave them the straight skinny every time we could. And that we don't predict markets. We don't, we don't give directional advice. You should buy this stock or that stock. We provide sort of data. We try to unpack the data, and then you make the decision.
That's right.
It's almost like a report. We're reporters in a way, reporting of numbers. That's and reporting of your data is what we do here. And your data is, some of the best, as CNBC, I'm sure, pointed out today, some of the best on the street when it comes to how to position trades, how to look at flows, how to position your portfolio more or less if you're a longer term investor. So we try to do all that, and I think that's what's going to be what people are going to say 10 years from now when you and I are in Boca or something. Where do you think? Think we'll be in Boca? I'll be in South Carolina.
I don't know. I see something in Sicily.
Not bad. Mediterranean diet.
Right. Mediterranean diet. Maybe fall, shoulder season, Sicily. Too hot during the summertime.
Ooh.
Too hot.
I've been there in the summer. It is brutal.
Something in the fall.
Brutal. By the way, they also
great food.
They also don't like AC.
Well, that's true.
See,
I can't do that.
See,
120 degrees, no AC. That doesn't work for me.
This isn't the AC thing in southern Italy. Southern Italy, we're talking, is not.
It's not a thing.
It's not an ESG thing. It's a cultural thing. They really do think it's bad for you. This is going back centuries. My wife would go to southern Italy with her dad. My father-in-law is from the Salerno area, south of Salerno, as a matter of fact. And, no one had AC, and they thought it was bad for you. As a matter of fact, the more you were hot, the better.
The better, right?
Um,
And they drink hot drinks to cool you down.
yeah, I mean, they drink wine.
Well, that's a hot
that
drink.
hot drink thing is interesting because that's what my father used to say. They used to give him
I
in the
know.
Marine Corps.
They give them a hot drink, cool you down.
They would give you, hot coffee.
Hot coffee.
And by the way, when you do basic training in Marine Corps, you're in some place called Parris Island, South Carolina,
I
which
know it
is
well.
hot.
I've been in Beaufort, South Carolina, many times.
That
Which
is
a great city.
That is a hot place.
Great town.
Yeah. Oh, South Carolina's great. I'm down there myself a lot now. I want to get to some of your stuff. You have a lot of stuff for
We
us,
do.
don't you?
We got a lot of stuff.
Just want to point out that there's a lot of talk about David Ellison moving Paramount.
Out of California, I saw that. What do you think?
If let's the backdrop of this is this guy gets approval to buy Warner Brothers from the EU, the UK, China.
Yep.
Not exactly right wingers there.
No.
The Trump administration, which a lot of people are saying, well, that's because of Larry Ellison, but I don't think Larry Ellison has and Larry Ellison is David Ellison, the CEO of Paramount's father, who is the money behind the deal. He's the billionaire Oracle co-founder. He's also friends with Trump, but I don't think Larry Ellison has a lot of stroke with the EU, to be honest with you.
Minimal,
right? But then here comes a bunch of these AGs, very progressive, led by Rob Bonta from California and Tish James from New York, and they're trying to stop the deal. So he's turning around, and they're not just stopping it like, let's go to trial now and get this over. They're like, they asked the judge, who's another lefty judge, let's delay it to March. They know he's got a ticking fee on it, meaning
$7 million a day.
It costs $7 million a day for every day after like I think September 1, I can't remember, that the deal doesn't get done. He has to pay stock.
Yeah.
It's really like they're really turning the screws on this guy. So he said, okay, you want to do that? I'm going to move out, or I may move out, unless we do settlement discussions. So a couple of things. I hear that people close to Paramount believe that they're feeling pretty good about a settlement discussion. They think they have some leverage. Another point of leverage is possibly moving CBS out of New York. Moving their operations all in Atlanta. I've heard that scenario. And that's a scenario that if he loses this case, which in front of this judge, you could see that happening. You appeal it, you win on appeal, or you go to the Supreme Court and you win if they hear it. And then he's in Atlanta and he can merge CNN and CBS because CNN is down there.
Or something happens where there's a different mix of assets. They have to spin something else out. They figure out what they want to go do and to get the deal done. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, a lot of people think that Bonta wants CNN spun out. I don't know if Ellison wants to do that. Yeah. Because there's a degree of synergies with, what he has now.
That's right.
But story developing. I did something in the Post. I'm getting texts from people about this. They're not crazy, but over it, the people at Paramount like to control the news flow. I'll just say.
Right.
And I quoted someone close to the matter talking about this. There's this potential, Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, the Paramount story is something. It's a big deal. This is why we talk about it so much, because really what is at stake is when you put CBS and CNN together, it changes the dynamic of news, and that's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's a really major, it's a major thing when you have two left of center operations are going to be merged together into one place, run by Barry Weiss,
and becoming less left of center.
That's right. And I know you tweeted. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Is it Duhat? Ross Duhat from the New York Times. Douhut.
Douhart.
Douhart. Thank you.
He's going there.
He's going to 60 Minutes, and he wrote
He's a
his
New York Times,
New York Times columnist, conservative
columnist,
columnist,
yeah.
and he wrote his farewell column there. Yeah. So it would be interesting to see if they can keep it together, because that would be pretty epic.
I think so. Very epic.
Very epic.
We'll see what happens. These AGs, the case sucks. There's not one person who thinks this is anything close to antitrust.
No.
I mean, they're not combining Apple and Amazon here. You know what I'm saying? These are two very shaky companies that are facing tremendous competition.
And that's the irony, right? Is like, independent of one another, could they survive?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't know if for a couple of years, yes, but if Larry Ellison keeps throwing money at Paramount, maybe, but independent, they don't have scale. They don't have enough.
Right. And you can't podcast your way out of it.
Yeah.
Your cost structure is too much. You have too many offices. The news division is very, very, very challenged.
Yeah.
And 24/7 news, you have a lot of competition, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Now,
so
think about
it. Makes sense.
Who would buy CNN? They had to spin it off.
Well, Zucker would try.
No, he's already in it.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
Zucker, you mean from Jeff Zucker?
Yeah.
Jeff Zucker works for Redbird, which is part of.
So they already own it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So
I mean,
but I'm saying
private equity.
If they spun it out, they would try to do something. He would do it.
Private equity.
Yeah.
No, but they couldn't. They'd be barred because they're already in P Sky. They're in there. But
I think he would try to figure out a way to free himself of the shackles he's under.
Maybe. Yeah, that's an interesting scenario. People
love going back to the places they were thrown out.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I don't. I never go back to any bar they got thrown out of. But I'm all these journalists are running around saying they don't want this deal to happen. I'm saying if you're writers and creatives, if you're a creative type, you really want like Amazon to own Warner Brothers. Just say if that was the case, you think they'll be better?
No, way worse.
I mean, at least David Ellison's a creative type. He wants to do movies.
Way worse.
I mean, they'll do AI movies.
Yeah, way worse.
They'll write it in AI.
Way worse.
I mean, it's just I don't. If you're a journalist, would you rather be owned as part of CBS or part of Apollo?
You know the answer to that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to. Apollo is very cost conscious. They go in there. They're ruthless and good investors.
The accountability factor is at a 10 out of 10. You go to work at Amazon, the accountability factor is an 11 out of 10.
Right.
And if you go work for the Ellisons, you're still accountable, but you have freedom. I think you have the freedom to express yourself.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to downsize, but duplicative jobs are going. But yeah, it's a better place.
Better place.
And
I'm just speaking from getting to know you, getting to know a lot of people in media and the way they think. That's not necessarily the way I think. I'm just saying from the lens of a journalist, this is how you would probably look at the world.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to work for the Ellisons.
Yeah, I would.
I would too.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I am, Bob. What do you got going for us?
So,
or do you want to do an abbreviated one?
Yeah, no, we can do a little calls. One is Cisco, where we have a bullish call on Cisco, which is going to announce earnings in about 15 minutes. As you know, networking and security is everything today, right? With AI, business has been going great. Stock price is up 24% over the last 3 months to about $123. It reports after the close today, which is in about 15 minutes. One of the things that we look at is the relationship between short interest and price. And so on this graph here on the screen, you can see how at the very top, you see the blue line, it's flat. And you see the price rising and rising and rising, flattening, rising again. And so, the short interest momentum, the magnitude is really weak, but the price action's strong. So when you see those two things, you say, okay, shorts have a weak hand. If they post a good number, this stock is probably going to pop. So that's one thing. The next one we have is also Dillard's. which is a department store retailer. They sell apparel and home goods and cosmetics across 275 stores in the South and Midwest. It has a $10 billion market cap. Now, you can kind of see the same type of scenario here, right? So you see short interest flattening out, rising and then flattening, falling and then flattening out. And you see the price action rising. So this is a bullish setup. And just so people watching this podcast understand, this year we've been right on these calls 58% of the time. That's pretty good.
Yep.
And so there is a very strong correlation between short interest data and what happens on an earnings call. And this is why we highlight them, because it's just data. We're not telling you to put this trade on, but these things do work. And we're not an investment advisor. We're not telling you to buy it at a certain price or sell it at a certain price. But we're telling you how professionals read this data, how they use it, and how they position themselves, and why we have the standing we do, and why, Charlie, you and I are doing the shows, because of the data. So those are the picks. Unless we got one more, I think that's it. We have 2 bullish picks this week, and then we should probably just bring up all the SpaceX stuff.
What's happening now?
So we fess up when I still think $60 is actually something that we'll see sometime in our future.
It posed a little comeback.
A lot, and we saw a really significant amount of short covering happen after the
but that ebbs and flows. You get the short covering, and then people start creating their positions again, right?
Well, the question is how much of this stuff is a box position. So the way a box position works is that you're long and short the stock at the same price.
Interesting.
So if you own it at 150, you short. You try to short it at the equal amount of shares at some price appropriating approximately 150, or you try to neutralize the amount of exposure you have by shorting the stock. And you cover that short, or you increase that short, depending on what you think the market direction is going to be. So it's very much like the way hedging works in convertible bonds. You'll buy a bond, you'll short stock against it. So there is a lot of hedging that's going on, but not $32 billion worth, right? And that was what it was at its peak. It's now down to $24 billion in the last 5 days. There's been a tremendous amount of short covering. And by the way, we are the only company that actually puts out a number on this. There are a lot of other pretenders, phonies, charlatans.
Yeah, I get emails from them.
I know you do. And
I share them with you.
They're just, it's when they try to make these things into something it's not, and then they're trying to pretzelize the data to say, oh, this is what it means, and then they get their face ripped off, and then they go into a hole and they don't say anything. So just so you know, we actually said that the short interest was going to be about 210 million shares. I think it came in at 206.
Oh, interesting.
So to be anywhere near that number, and more importantly, we got the directionality right. In other words, that we saw this massive increase, and we've also seen a massive amount of covering. I think we're at about 177 million shares. What we think the short interest is $24 billion. But you've got 2 billion shares worth of unlock coming between now and November.
That's a lot.
So,
where the pressure comes from, right?
Yeah. And so you've seen you've seen a lot of short covering in the last couple of days. We think that the dollar average is about $150. That's like the break-even point for most short sellers on this stock. So they're still in the money. They're up about $8 billion rather than 2.5 right now. They were up about $8 or $9 billion. Now they're up about $2.5 billion. So they're going to stick, because this is just one of those things where you either believe this company takes over the world, or you think it's just total nonsense. And there's just so much money.
See, I've always said that, and I still believe that. If you read,
that's what it is.
You read their S1. Is it S1? I always get it mixed up.
Believe this company takes over the world.
I always get S1s mixed up with S3. Why is that?
I have no idea.
Okay, but in any event, as I do that, I was like, this is like insane. I mean, it's this thing and that thing and Twitter, and you throw in some AI here, and then you got some satellite stuff here, internet, and it's just
Well, but it's like most businesses. You have a mix of businesses, and the things you don't think are going to make money, and the things you actually raise money on, kind of yes or no, don't make money.
I mean, is there
That happens a lot.
There is a thread, a narrative thread that goes through all those businesses, correct? I mean, it's Musk's
Yeah,
belief in
NVIDIA chips.
Okay.
We
but
the whole world of commerce is going through that chip.
Yeah, and no, but his theory of how to there's got to be some underlying unifying theory about all that Musk does with Tesla as well.
Well,
Is it all AI? Is it all?
Well, it's all interconnected,
right?
So it's, hey, we can mine for rare earths in outer space. Let's do that. It's, why are we worried about power and nuclear energy for data centers when there's solar, and we can do that in outer space? I don't know about you, but I am very tempted to buy a mini satellite. To buy a mini Starlink satellite and put it on my car, because I'm so frustrated with the cell service going in and around New York City.
Yeah, it sucks.
And it's crazy. We live in the greatest city in the world, and our cell service is terrible compared to any comparable European, even anywhere almost, in particular in Asia. The cell service is perfect. But here, you go out to anywhere in the suburbs of New York City, and you get no service. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So all those things together, plus AI, plus the renting out of data centers, which he's now building left, right, and center. So he's got all these different shots on goal. And then there's the launch business, right? And then there's the satellite cleanup business. There's all these different things. So it's like, okay, we're going to take over space. Like, literally, we're going to take over the world. Everything outside of the earth, we're going to take it over. And that's what you're saying. Yeah, this is going to be a $10 trillion company.
I don't know.
I got to say a story, right?
How big is Apple right now? 3?
No, I think higher.
Tell me the story, and I'll look.
So I'm sitting in my chair getting makeup done, and at CNBC, and they're really, really, really nice people there. Before you get on the show,
yeah, I know.
They're really nice, and they said, "Hey, what are you going to talk about today?" And I said, "I don't know." They said, "What do you mean you don't know?" I said, "I don't know. I haven't made my mind yet."
4.5 trillion.
Yeah, I said 5 trillion. I thought it was 5, but it's whatever, 4.5. So I said, what do you mean you don't know? I said, I don't know yet. But you're going to be on in 10 minutes. I said, I know. But that's the way we do it. It's you just respond to the question, and you can't really memorize your things. Then it doesn't work. It's not good TV. So she said, well, are you going to talk about SpaceX? I said, yeah, probably. She goes, I love SpaceX. I said, why? This is because it's pure emotion. It's pure America. It's pure risk. It's pure going out there and doing things that cannot be done and doing them. And that idea is so powerful and resonates with so many people. I just wonder if the political parties are actually listening, because it's the true voice of the country coming through.
Yep.
It's the risk taker doing things rather than the builder that is flawed, but builds greatness. And managing through that rather than saying it's all bad or all good. And so I think he's just tapped into something that is deeply American, deeply emotive, and given any chance to mobilize an army of investors that now can do things very simply on their phone, they will vote with him.
Interesting. I don't know.
It's almost Trumpian in the way, like in terms of capital markets. I'm not saying Trump, but
the
way Trump has a hold on a third of the voter base, he has a hold on investors.
Even all these socialists, I wish he had a hold on like 2/3.
Well, he has a hold on X. I mean, that's the counterweight, right? So
no, I mean Trump.
Oh. What did you think of AOC and what she did the other day?
I thought it was absurd. I mean,
Why? I think she's deep. I also think she's tapped into something deeply emotive.
Maybe, but I mean, the people, the politicians really need to do stuff like that. What does that prove? I mean, I want her to represent her district, which is the Bronx and Queens. You know,
she's a national figure, though.
Yeah, but she doesn't represent her district. She gets. I think the problem with a lot of these sort of, especially these young lefties, right, is that they forget what they're in there for. I mean, at bottom, Mondami isn't in there to change the world. He's in there to pick up the garbage, protect your kids from not getting mugged when they come home, protect your wife from not getting mugged when you guys go out to, when she goes out to dinner with her friends.
Make the traffic lights
make them
in
work,
sync.
You know,
right? Get the ports right. Get everything right. Get garbage off the street.
Get a business
get the rats
environment
off the street,
that people need, that people will invest here. And he doesn't do any of that. He gets involved in these very ideological missions that are quite stupid, if you ask me.
Well, they're certainly not service oriented to taxpayers.
No, I mean, if you know Alexandria Cortez's AOC's district, it's a very working class.
It's very working class.
And I know parts of it because my cousin grew up in one part called Throg's Neck in the Bronx.
Sure.
And she's like, you know, she doesn't, I don't think they ever see her.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
But she is tapping into something that is a deeply powerful political force, which is women that are career-oriented, that want to not actually serve at the whim of their own biology, and they actually want to control that. I think that's something very powerful. And she did a very, I have to say, it was a masterful job.
I would say yes. That's go for it if you do the other stuff.
It's there, and I think you deny that at. I think you have to understand.
Although I wonder
if I can't stand that there shouldn't be a billionaire thing. It's imbecilic. But I understand what she's doing.
But
I think it's
wonder,
very clever.
Bob, I wonder if any of her constituents care about this.
That's a good question.
And she gets reelected, but it's
maybe you should ask.
Safe Democrat. Oh, I have. They don't. Okay. I mean, my unofficial survey with a margin of error of 10 gazillion. I do not have control groups on this thing. A few people I know who live around where she is. She's like, a lot of this is besides the point.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done. Would you have anything more?
I think we should just end it on SpaceX. I think that's good.
We'll end it on SpaceX. We'll be watching Paramount
for sure.
It's obviously an ARB play here.
Yep.
We should probably run the S3 numbers on them.
Okay, next week.
Warner Brothers and Peace Guy will get both of those. Something's going on.
Sam, you got that? That's for next week.
There's a trade here, depending on now that there's some talk about a possible settlement. Keep an eye on how much Ellison moves out of California, New York.
Yeah.
David Ellison.
But somebody has to do that, right? The problem with the business community is that we all say we're going to move.
We don't move.
And no one moves.
Now, that's a great point. I'm going to write a column on that. I mean, in many ways, he's showing the New York business community what to do.
What to do.
If you don't like Mondami stuff,
leave.
Start making the move.
Make a move.
Hurt him.
Make a move.
And I know it's going to hurt the city, and I shouldn't say that, but it's the only way. It's your only lever here.
That's right.
Well,
and I don't know if it's your only lever, but it's certainly the most visible lever.
Well, I mean, I guess if
you want to make a statement, that's the way you make a statement.
You can give campaign contributions, but that's a better one.
The physical presence is a statement.
I mean, Ken Griffin, who Citadel, the guy who runs Citadel, is going to move to that office in New York City. At least that's the latest I heard from.
Well, he is going to move. He's not going to do it.
He's going to do it.
Oh, he is going to do it.
Yes, and Lou Rudin, I think it was, or who was it? That not Lou Rudin.
Bill Rudin.
No, it wasn't him. It was the head of Verando. Who's that? Vernado.
Not that's.
Rudin. I'm sorry.
It's not.
I'm getting my. I'm getting my my real. Steve Ross.
Steve Ross?
Yeah, Steve Ross.
Okay.
Steve Ross said that they're moving ahead. he's the
developer.
the developer, and so that's happening. This is after Mondami pulled that stunt in front of his apartment and tried to put a target on him. Stupid. And I just don't see a big movement out of the city just yet. Maybe it takes time, but these guys, maybe they're playing the long game. They think he's just flash in a pan. I don't think so.
I told you that a long time ago. Like, he's already got congressional candidates. He's got some momentum. Now, they ran into a pothole in Wisconsin, right? That was
the name Hung.
That was interesting.
The other guy, El Said, was up by 20.
Mm-hmm.
Won by like less than 1% or something like that.
That's right. Percent. So, but the fact is that it's grabbing headlines, it's grabbing airtime away from other candidates.
True. I still think they've overcorrected to the left. This stuff it's so bizarre. I mean, no Christmas. I mean, no New Year's,
Thanksgiving.
No Thanksgiving. I mean, think about El Said.
The crazy one.
They got him.
The co-chair of the DSA is, and she gets on and she
she's
goes,
like psycho.
I mean, I wonder if someone looking at that goes,
she said, get rid of the Senate.
Get rid of the Senate. Get rid of this. Basically get rid of everything.
Get rid of the borders.
You look at that and go, you remember that party, and you're looking on ABC television Sunday morning. It's kind of like the traditional. This is where you go when you want to make a statement to the country. It's one of the places you do that.
Right.
And you go, your message is blow it up. And then you think that that's okay.
I mean, they're revolution. I mean, they are they're communists.
It's what was it? The revolution won't be televised? Well, it kind of was. And then people laughed at it.
I mean, look at it this way. El Said, right?
Right.
He said football is equals toxic masculinity.
Well, tell that to Amazon and the 98
okay.
shows out of 100 that are the most popular. We love football.
I don't remember him saying radical Islam is toxically masculine.
Well, first, let's get back.
Which it kind of is.
But by the way, let's get back to football, okay? Any political candidate that says they don't like football should immediately be disqualified.
I think so.
Should it be immediate disqualification? Totally.
I just think that
you're in Michigan. Okay,
well,
every Thanksgiving, it's Michigan, Ohio State. It kicks off rivalry weekend. It's the best weekend of college sports there is, maybe other than the Final Four. But everybody loves that.
You should know the cultural.
And so you're in Michigan and you want to run as a candidate, and you're going like football's bad. Good luck to you.
But Bob, if you're a cultural Marxist,
good luck to you.
You don't care.
Good luck. And we went to Michigan.
But that shows you how stupid it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you don't understand the state.
But it's the same thing with AOC with her whatever she was doing about her pregnancy, freezing her eggs.
She was freezing her eggs because she's saying I don't want to be subject to
he's a senator.
Time clock. I understand that.
The senator, he shouldn't be worried about football.
Let me tell you something. Being anti-football in Michigan is like being anti-pizza in New York. Okay, yeah. It's not you. You're just not. It's not a thing. Not a thing. Not if you're a smart politician. You're in a warp of your anti-football in Michigan. It's like being anti-football in Columbus. It's like no.
Well, anyway, if football is toxic masculinity, I wonder what he thinks about radical Islam.
Well, that sounds like a Gasparino question.
By the way, I did not come up with that. Ben Shapiro, the conservative commentator, came up with that.
Listen, it's a good question.
I know. That's very good. All right, we're going to end it there. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for another riveting edition of Risk and Return. I'm Charlie Gasparino with my partner, Bob Sloan, signing off. See you next week.